Arsenal have made European history. They have become the first side ever to score 7 away goals in the knockout round of the Champions League. But what's even more impressive is the fact that they managed to do this without a striker. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down how they did it. As we all know at this point, Arsenal do not have a recognised number 9, nobody that they can kick the ball up to be able to hold up play and allow their midfielders to come and then progress the ball forwards. Instead, in the build-up to this game, Mikel Arteta needed to come up with a different game plan that would help them exploit this PSV side, and I believe he absolutely found it. And it was through exploiting the spaces on either side of Schouten, but also making sure that they were able to overwhelm, numbers-wise, this defensive back 5, including the defensive midfielder, in particular the back 4. They did this through a build-up system of 2, of 3, and then of 5, allowing for Arsenal to have 5 progressive attackers on a number of different moments, utilising Ethan Nwaneri to be able to drift infield or even go on the outside. The depth and width was absolutely crucial to this build-up, but it was the spaces on either side of Schouten that Martin Odegaard really started to find, and it was these pockets of space that allowed Arsenal to drift through this PSV defence, utilising those wide areas, but also making sure that they had great impact from the aggressive runs of Jurrien Timber and Miles Lewis-Skelly, pressurising and penetrating through this PSV defence. It wasn't before too long that Arsenal were able to carve out some major opportunities, but in Mikel Merino dropping a little bit deeper, you needed runners in beyond. Declan Rice offering this on a number of occasions, and Martin Odegaard pulling the strings from a deeper position, allowing for those runs from Timber, allowing for those runs of Nwaneri, and all of a sudden the movement from this Arsenal side started to unlock this PSV defence. You have a clear example of this for Arsenal's first goal. They're building up down this left-hand side, utilising Leandro Trossard's width, but also the overlapping run of Miles Lewis-Skelly. Now, one other thing you need to take note of at this current point in time is how many players they have in and around the penalty area at the minute. They have 5 players, and that is crucial. Declan Rice's run into the box gives them an extra chance to overload these defensive players here, but it also drags away these players, leaving a whole heap of space between the centre-back and the full-back. It's this space that then gets exposed later on, as we're about to see. So the ball gets played through into Declan Rice, who makes a run into this space. Now watch the run of Miles Lewis-Skelly. It's a brilliant run, and it's a run that Declan Rice ends up utilising to decoy round to give himself just enough time and space to be able to chip the ball over towards the back post. But notice the positioning of Jurrien Timber. Although he is helping within the build-up, he's also getting himself into an aggressive position in the box, and this is absolutely key. It's what we were talking about earlier. The fact that they don't have an out-and-out number 9, they need to win the numbers battle, and they did right here. I mean, look at this. Look at how many players there are. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players in and around the penalty area. Again, making sure that they have that extra threat, they have that extra danger, and they make it count in this match and in this goal in particular. The ball gets crossed over towards Jurrien Timber, and this is a mismatch. It's the attacker versus the defender. The winger doesn't really want to go up for the challenge, and Timber ends up winning it. But it's the numbers battle, it's the utilisation of space, and the brilliant runs from these Arsenal players. A key tactic to Arsenal's offensive build-up was the utilisation of both wide areas. In holding out wide and instead of going through the centre because they didn't have an out-and-out centre forward, Arsenal's overloading of both left and right channels meant that it forced PSV's hand. They could not leave Arsenal to build up on the flanks uncontested, forcing their wing-backs or their full-backs out wide to then go and contest. Once they were able to do this, a number of things started to happen. The channels in between full-back and centre-back became exposed, allowing for Arsenal's midfielders to not only take advantage, but also be able to overload on both flanks. It was through the over and underlapping runs of Miles Lewis-Skelly and Jurrien Timber that gave them the opportunities to do this. And once they had these opportunities, it was then about the second phase of play. And that was through the numbers that they were able to get into the box. Flooding the box at this current point in time is absolutely crucial for Arsenal because they don't have that main striker. Instead, utilising numbers and overload tactics to best give themselves an opportunity to get a goal. And clearly, they managed to do that pretty well. The second goal follows a similar pattern. Again, you have your 3 here in that 2-3-5 build-up, and of course you have your 5 attackers. It's really well done, but in the progression down this left-hand side, that's where Arsenal start to get a little bit of joy again. You've got them out on this right-hand side, Leandro Trossard cutting infield, but notice the run of Miles Lewis-Skelly again. A dynamite in and around the penalty area. His athleticism, his drive, his determination is absolutely crucial in giving Trossard a brilliant option to play this pass in. Now, the moment this happens, it is big danger time for PSV, but do the Arsenal players rest on this? They do not at all. Notice the positioning of Ethan Nwaneri. He's going to be making a darting run into the box, but so do the rest of these Arsenal players, and that is another key thing to focus on. The amount of players that Arsenal get into the box to give themselves a better chance of a goal. I'm sure Mikel Arteta will have been working on this to best help themselves without that striker. Ethan Nwaneri gets on the end of this after a brilliant Miles Lewis-Skelly cross, and the power that Nwaneri gets on this cross is absolutely sensational. It's a brilliant hit and it gives him a goal first and foremost, but it's just a brilliantly carved opportunity due to the great running power, the fantastic quality and the drive from these Arsenal players into the box. Arsenal's third goal shows a completely different side to them, a side that I'm sure Mikel Arteta, over the time that he's had to work with his players between matches, will have wanted to ignite a little bit more. The drive, the heart, the determination, the willingness to win the ball back as quickly as possible. Jurrien Timber is going to play the ball here, but it's going to get intercepted. As it gets intercepted, the drive and hunger from both him and Mikel Merino to win the ball back high into the PSV box, into this area, is absolutely crucial. And it's through this determination and it's through this grit that gives them the option in this area to be able to win back possession and then go forwards towards goal. Of course, it could have been cleared by the PSV players, but I think you've got to give the Arsenal players credit. I think you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt because they work really hard to win the ball back. They do such a good job in this instance of not only maintaining the moment, but also making sure they're adding pressure. And it's this pressure that forces PSV to crumble in this moment. Mikel Merino gives himself a chance on goal. He nutmegs the PSV defender and it goes into the back of the net. But again, heart, determination, hunger to get that goal. That is absolutely key for this Mikel Arteta side, and it was on display right here. The build-up and utilisation of the wide areas was absolutely crucial for this Arsenal side to get not only all 3 points, but the amount of goals that they had to score, especially without that main centre forward. And in this goal, it is another example of how they were able to best utilise that real quality down those flanks. But again, you've got your build-up here, you've got your 3, you've got your 5, here they are. Mikel Merino drops a little bit deeper to try and help facilitate with build-up, forcing the ball out wide, allowing for Ethan Nwaneri to have his 1v1, and then once he has his 1v1, it's then about whether he can beat his opponent. If he beats his opponent, it's then about getting across into the box. And what have you got following up on that second phase of play? You've got players in the penalty area ready to make a difference, ready to run into the box. It's about utilising those wide areas, getting players into the box, and making a nuisance of themselves. Of course, the goalkeeper has a bit of a fumble here and it comes straight out to Martin Odegaard, but again, you don't get rewarded if you don't take the gamble and if you don't take the risk, and they took the risk here and it paid off time after time again because they were willing to always follow on to that pass, follow on to that cross, and they got their rewards tenfold. Goal number 5 now, and I'm going to start to sound like a broken record, but again, it's that utilization down the wide area. In this particular example, it's down this left-hand side. Riccardo Calafiori with the ball driving forwards, but again, notice the positioning of these players. You've got Calafiori with the ball driving down this left. You've also got Leandro Trossard making a really good run to exploit the space that's been given to them by the PSV defenders. Look at the space that's going to be exposed by this run, and the fact that they're having to come out and contest. It's the fact that they're having to drag themselves out to these wide areas that gives Arsenal the space to be able to run into. But you need to have those players willing to make those runs. Calafiori drives down this left, and look at the run of Trossard. It's so well done. The space is there to be exposed, it's there to be exploited, and that's exactly what happens. He drives in here. Calafiori sees this pass, plays this into this area. Leandro Trossard makes a brilliant run, and this space gets exposed. It's then about that driving run from Trossard going towards the goal. Can he make any kind of difference? Can he get on the end of it? Can he make sure that he converts the moment for his side? He absolutely can. Chips the goalkeeper into the goal, and Arsenal get their 5th. It's brilliantly done, and it is textbook on how to drag a team out wide and then utilize the space that you've exposed later on down the line. Brilliant. Goal number 6 now, and what I want you guys to notice from this is that although you've got Zinchenko on the field, although Sterling's on the field, although Mikel Arteta has made some changes, the principles of play for his side in this match have not. They have not changed. You've still got Marino dropping a little bit deeper to help with build-up. You've still got your 5 attackers for Arsenal being able to go forwards. Those 5 attackers up against those 4 PSV defenders, and it means that they continuously have an overload. And it's through this and through the build-up that Mikel Marino has that allows for Martin Odegaard to get on the ball, and he drives forwards, taking this space as the PSV backlines start to drop. As Odegaard drives with the ball, the PSV midfielders cannot keep up with him, and so as he drives on, you then got a situation where the PSV backlines start to drop. You're Odegaard taking that space, and you haven't got enough energy within the PSV side to be able to stop him, inviting him to go forwards and take a shot, which is exactly what he does. Brilliant quality, shoots at goal. Of course, it's a fumble from the keeper, but again, the principles of play, the overloading those wide areas, making sure you're stretching that defense, runs in beyond, it's all such good play, and it was able to dismantle this PSV side. Last but certainly not least, you've got Arsenal's 7th goal. Yep, that's right, 7th goal. And even though you've had a whole host of changes, even though you've got some rotation within the side, you've still got those same principles of play. You've still got your 5 attackers. Kieran Tierney's out on this left-hand side here. Even though you've got Calafiori making a run forwards, he's taking up the role of either Zinchenko or Trossard. It's all about occupying those spaces and occupying those roles and making sure you're utilizing those runs in beyond, making sure you're making those runs for your teammates. And in this particular example, Declan Rice finds Martin Odegaard in quite a bit of space. He did this time after time again. It was a superb Martin Odegaard performance, and as he picks up that ball, you're gonna have a brilliant run from Riccardo Calafiori running in beyond this space, taking advantage of the PSV line, utilizing his running capabilities. I'm sure he's been a forward in a different time because he makes a brilliant move here, and time after time again I see him in forward thinking positions. He's got a great touch on him, and he's got a really good run right here. So as Martin Odegaard plays this pass with the outside of his foot, again brilliantly weighted, you've got Riccardo Calafiori making this run, making this movement. It's brilliantly done. It's a fantastic move, and then it's about whether he can make that finish, whether he can capitalize on the moment, and he absolutely can. He slots it home pretty perfectly, comes off the post, and I think the goal always looks better when it comes off the post. I don't know what you guys think, but I definitely think it does, and it's a brilliant goal to top off a fantastic performance from Arsenal. It really was absolutely superb, sensational, and they win by 7 goals to 1. a sensational performance that surely will see them go through to the next round of the Champions League. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about Arsenal, about the game, and how you think they could do in this Champions League campaign. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.